let's go to the new data sheet here. And by the way, it doesn't really matter for you to have all these data sheets. They're not really important. It's not really important what data this is. You can use any spreadsheet for what I'm going to show you here. Here I'm going to insert a new module. Let's just go up here, insert a module, and then I can write code from scratch. So every macro starts with a sub, just the 3 letters sub, and then a macro name. I'm just going to give it a name. Let's give it a name, call it Casper. That's great. And when I hit enter, this line called end sub is automatically inserted here at the bottom. That means that my code needs to go in here between that, and I can just hit enter as many times as I want to get the space that I need to be able to write my code. I'm gonna try something here that is similar to what I just recorded. It's just gonna look more simple because I'm writing it from scratch instead. And this is actually the application that you're learning to build here. It's really simple. And it's not like I can say that, hey, I'm going to build this application for you and you can just copy the code and use it for anything. That's not how VBA works. This is teaching you some of the foundations of writing your own VBA applications. That means that you can apply the principles here so you can automate your own simple processes with the stuff you'll learn here in this webinar. But this is the macro that I'm writing from scratch. What should we do here? Okay, so I think I want to do the same things that I did, that the macro that I recorded did, like almost the same things, just to keep, you know, an easy comparison. I'm gonna write something here, and you're just gonna have to follow along, and we'll see if we can figure out what it means together. So I'm gonna write range here, range C5, interior color equal VB red. Yeah, that's one line. I'm gonna walk you through that in a bit. Range C5 font bold equals true. Okay, so these 2 lines, they don't seem very complex, do they? Actually, I'm guessing that you can actually figure out what they do. I told you that we have this range C5 that I think it was before earlier in the previous example. Now it's C5, and that means that we're going to do something with the range, which is in this case just one cell, that is C5, and we're going to do something with that. We're going to change the interior color of this cell into red. So range C5 is going to be the font is going to be bold, yes or no, true or false? True. That means it'll probably get bolded, right? If that's even a sentence, a phrase you can use, get bolded. So I'm going to select the cell here, and we'll see what happens when I play this. Click. Okay. So the thing that happened is that C5 was obviously red, and is obviously red now, and the text is bolded. And the problem with this is actually the problem that we had before, that this is just C5. So if I want to do this again, if I select this cell and I play this again, it's the same cell that keeps on getting bold and red. So that doesn't really help me at all. I need to do the same thing that we saw in the code before. When I deleted this part, like almost this part, it was actually something like this instead. Select, and then with the selection here, then the interior color should be VB red. That is what happened in the macro before. Let's just do that and delete that and see what happens if I select this cell and hit play. Actually, it worked because now the selection, which is C8, that interior color is now VB red, but obviously the font is not bold because that only applies to C5. Basically, we can do the same thing again here. Just write selection, and this actually works. So let's just hit that, and you'll see that this is bold as well. So we can select multiple cells here and play the macro, and all of them will get formatted the way we want it to here. So this actually is pretty logical, huh? But anyways, I'm gonna teach you some theory behind this. And I think actually when I started learning VBA, so I don't know if it was one of my colleagues back then, before I started Spreadsheeto, they came and told me about this object-oriented programming. And it seemed like, well, I don't need to learn that. I just learned this. So yeah, I kind of get it, right? Like, you know, something, and we're going to do something with something, right? And we're going to turn it red or bold or something. That's great. But my skills didn't really take off before I learned about these object-oriented programming parameters, which are objects, methods, and properties. Those three things are very important. And I'm going to teach you about them so you don't make the same mistakes that I do. I'm going to teach you about this in a different, with a different example here in the beginning, because it'll help you understand. So this is a car, right? It most certainly is a car. And a car, using object-oriented programming language terminology, a car is an object. And a car, it has some properties and some methods. And the object is just an object, right? It's what you can see and you can feel it. And the properties are properties of that object. That means that a car has a color. That's a property of the car. And the car has an engine size. It also has an engine, but the engine has a size. And that is also a property. So the engine itself inside of the car, that's not a property. That's another object. So a car, it has an engine. That's a, what should we call it, a sub-object of the bigger object that is a car. And then that engine, for example, it has some properties. Then there are methods. And methods are what the car does, or what is done to the car. So it differentiates from the objects and properties by being something you do. You can put the word to in front of it and you'll see. So to drive or to park, that is something that the car can do, or it could be done to the car. Those are methods. So we have the car, which is an object, and everything in the car is actually an object. But then everything in the car have properties that can be changed, like the window thickness of the windows, the color of the car, you can change that. And there are methods that obviously the car can drive, that's a method, and it can park, that's a method. It can probably also explode, that would also be a method. So let's use Excel terms for this instead. So in Excel there are a lot of objects as well. There are cells, there are ranges, which is, a range is just multiple cells put together. Then there are sheets, which is basically also just a lot of cells put together into a sheet. So cells, ranges, and sheets, and workbooks, which is an Excel file. So the workbook is an object in itself. It contains sheets, ranges, and cells, and a lot of other stuff. But these are the most important ones. Okay, so to wrap this together with the examples I showed you before, the VBA code I wrote before, you have a range. Yeah, so range A1, that's an object. And then this object, the range, it can have a value. And that value is the property. So the range can hold a value, which is a property, and that could be 200. So the range is an object. The value setting equal to 200 is a property that we're changing to 200. We could also change it from 200 to 150, and that would also just be changing the property here. The range, this object here, range A1, can also have methods, which could be to copy, and that's a method. So you can copy the range, and then you're using a method on the object. You are copying the object. So so for us to use this, the selection here, that's the object. The interior is also the object. So this is actually the object, because the interior is an object within the selection. So with the interior of the selection, both objects, we are changing the property color into VB red. And with the selection font, which is also an object within the selection, we are making this bold. And that's how you use object-oriented programming in VBA, thus using objects, methods, and properties. That's really important. This knowledge is really important for you to learn VBA much more easily in the future. So this is a very simple application. It automates 2 actions, and we can play this again if we want, both from here, but we can also make it easier. And let's see, we can make a shape for it. We can insert a button here. I call this button, and I'm gonna pop like that. Yeah, so this is a very small button, and I can right click that and assign a macro to it, and I'll assign the Casper macro to it. And then actually also I'm going to go into the view tab here and freeze the top row. That means that whenever I scroll down in the sheet, I can still see the button here. That means that I can just scroll down, select a cell, hit the button, select a few more cells, hit the button. Then I can just use this this VBA code that I built into this macro called Casper, and I can just call on that to do what I wrote here. So imagine in a more complex scenario, you wrote maybe 500 things to do, and then you just click a button, and all of those 500 things are executed automatically. All right, so we're going to move on to the next part of this master plan. I'm going to teach you about if statements now, and that is really cool. This was also cool, but if statements, they're really cool. If statements are basically just like the if function in Excel. So if something is true, then this happens. If something is not true, then this other thing happens, right? It's pretty straightforward, but it's really, really cool. It's one of my, it's my favorite function in Excel. That's how much I love it. And that way, with the if function, for example, you can add logic into your code. You can enable Excel to make decisions for you, so you don't have to make decisions all the time. And that's the same you can use here in VBA programming. You can enable the VBA code to make decisions for you, so you don't have to. That's basically what if statements are. So in this case, we have a sub called test and end sub here. So these two lines, they're mandatory. They're always going to be there. This test here, the word test is something you can change for, like Casper, for example. You can call it anything you want almost. So sub test here, this macro has this code in it. And if you put an if statement into this, you're basically like making sure that every line of code is run, and at some point it'll split. It'll split because it needs to make a decision. And it looks at a criteria, just like the if function. It looks at a criteria, and if the criteria is true, then these things over here happen. But if the criteria is not true, if it's false, then these things over here happen. That's basically the if function, but it's called an if statement instead, and it's in VBA. And then after this, the criteria, if true runs, then these lines of code runs, and then if false here to the right, they don't run, or vice versa. But when they're done, they just go back to the normal execution of the code, which is from top to bottom. So the rest of the code will run after the if function, if statement. So in this case, we want to apply these things for certain cells, but not all of the cells. Like right now, it's the cells that we selected. That's great, but okay, let me just, to make this a bit easier, remove the formatting here. Yay. Okay, so I want I want the macro to apply the red color and the bold formatting here on the bolded font if the cell value is less than 25,000. If it's more than 25,000, I want to color it green instead of red. All right, so let's do that with the if function. You can, and it's much easier than you think. So I'm gonna start with an if. Just write if, then space, then write the criteria, basically like the if function. So write the criteria, and that is if the active cell value, like the active cell is basically another way of saying, oh, selection, except that selection can be multiple cells, active cell cannot. So the active cell is just the cell that is selected. And if multiple cells are selected, it'll be this one that is, you can actually see that up here. That's the active cell B5 in this case, and you can see it is highlighted here as well. So if the active cell value, so this is the object, and this is the property. So if the property, which is value, of the active cell is more than 25,000, more than with this little symbol here, if that's more than 25,000, then something happens. And you need to write that then here in the same sentence, in the same line. And then you hit enter. And then you write what happens if that is actually true. So in this case, I want the selection, or I can just say active cell instead, active cell interior color to be equal to, and that's more than 25,000. That's a good thing. So I want it to be equal to VB green. I want to color that cell green. And also active cell font bold true. I want to make it bold as well. Great. But we are missing the other part of the if statement, and that is that what happens if this is not true? If the cell value is not more than 25,000, then we write an else, just like the if function. So if the criteria is not met, then this happens. What comes next here? Active cell interior color equal to VB red. Then we want it to be colored red. And also we want this to happen as well. So I'm just going to copy that and put it down here. I'm going to delete this because we don't need that. In order to close this up, just like you do with the if function, you write the end parenthesis in order for everything to work. You need to tell the VBA editor here that now this if statement is over. It's over now. And then you just need to write end if, and that's it. Now that way you tell it that there's not going to be more logic here. That's it. I think the most common mistake in doing if statements in VBA is forgetting about the end if. So if you ever have any errors with this, check two things. Check if this is down here, and check if you have forgotten to write end if. So let's just see what happens here when we click this button now. Because I've selected a cell that has a value of 32,000. That means that when I click this button, I'm expecting to make it green and bold. Let's see. Yep, that's it. Cool. Then when I click this cell, I'm expecting it to be red and bold. Yep, that's it. It does. It works. Great. This is the if statement in Excel. In VBA, it's really mighty powerful, and it's just the beginning of introducing logic into your code. It looks very similar to conditional formatting. Basically, it's the same thing, right? So every time in Excel, except that conditional formatting is updated whenever a cell value is updated. This only updates when I click the button here.